Hello, my fellow conspirators. So, we have all seen the news about these drones or UFOs flying over New Jersey. We're going to go through some of the theories. We're going to get Trump's reaction. We're going to go through some of what Elon Musk has said in the past, along with Joe Rogan. And then I'm going to present my own theory here today. So, if you guys have a theory, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do like and subscribe. That being said, we're going to jump right into it, first with Donald Trump's statement here.
Here at home of the drones.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disc.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth?
That's really interesting. So we have a former president and sitting president-elect saying that the government knows exactly what these are. I don't know where he gets that, maybe from former experience, but he believes that the government knows exactly what those are. So that leads me into the next clip here, and I don't really agree with Joe Rogan's assessment of this. He definitely thinks that UFOs and things like that are aliens. And he's not commenting specifically on the drones in New Jersey, but here's kind of what he thinks about UFOs and sightings that have happened.
Super advanced civilization from another galaxy, and you recognize that one planet has come into nuclear power. They have now nuclear capabilities. This signal goes out through the universe. Okay, these fucks are blowing themselves up.
These apes figured out.
Let's go visit.
Yeah,
let's go visit. And that's the UFO folklore. Is that's when they all start showing up, and that's when you get like all the different crazy like Betty and Barney Hill, the abduction stories, all that stuff. All that stuff comes after 1947.
Craziest story about them is they were interracial in like the 50s.
And if you're some...
Okay, so that is a really interesting take as well. So what Joe Rogan is saying is that aliens, UFOs, make their appearance around the times there are major wars. World War II, we had a lot of UFO sightings on Earth. When actually the Russia-Ukraine war happened, I think is around when Joe Rogan made another similar statement that all of a sudden we're seeing all of these UFOs. He thinks the UFOs are like, hey guys, knock the war off. Like, you're killing each other. Knock it off. I don't think that's it, but I do think it brings us closer to the truth. Oddly enough, this clip with Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson, I could not even find on YouTube. I had to go to Rumble to find it. So let's see what Elon Musk has to say. And I would think that his opinion is pretty qualified, given that he has the most satellites in space right now.
A lot of people ask me, where are the aliens? And I think if anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me.
I would think.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with space stuff. And I've seen no evidence of aliens. So I would immediately tweet it out. This is split second. That would be like one of the all-time, probably the top tweet of all time. Found one, guys. It's a jackpot. There's some 8 billion likes. Next level jackpot if you find the aliens. Like, I don't think they're keeping this under, and it was like some general, I think in the 60s, who where they were saying like, show us the aliens, like Area 51, etc. And he said, like, listen, we're constantly trying to get the defense budget to expand. And you know what would really get no arguments for anyone? If we pulled out an alien and said, we need money to protect ourselves from these guys. How much money do you want? You got it. They look dangerous. So the fastest way to get a defense budget increase would be to pull out an alien, We were like, yeah. I mean, there could be the invasion fleet could be arriving any minute. Who knows? So, so I digress. But
But you were saying that our consciousness makes us unique in the universe as far as we know, and that we take
Yes,
it for
I'm not saying that
granted.
we are unique. I'm simply stating, to the best of my knowledge, that there is no evidence for other
Yes.
conscious life. I hope there is, and I hope they're peaceful. Obviously, the two important characteristics. But I'm just saying we haven't seen anything yet. So,
But you think that we take our existence here for granted?
yeah.
So, and to pause this, Elon Musk states either later on in this interview or another that he believes that the UFOs that we see are classified government projects, that they're so secret that most people in the government, even military fighter pilots and things, wouldn't know what they are because they're so top secret. So, I guess the question is, and Joe Rogan's assessment was absolutely correct. We do see aliens during times of war. And of course, we've seen war right now. We've seen war in Russia. We've seen war in Ukraine. We've seen war in Israel and Gaza. One war that hasn't been covered, and this is my theory, is that the reason that UFOs make appearances during times of war is because it's really a smokescreen to try to get people's attention. I think it is our government who has invented these UFOs, and I think they fly them around to distract people from what's really going on in the world. So one war that almost no one really is talking about right now is the war in Syria, where a coalition of radical jihadists aligned in the past with Al-Qaeda and ISIS have taken over. This man, Ahmed el-Shahra, or as he was previously known, Abu Muhammad el-Jalani, was until 2014 a member of ISIS, actually a leader in ISIS. His group now rules over most of Syria. So he's kind of been trying to whitewash himself. But do you think it's possible that the U.S. is like, hey, we don't want everyone to know that these guys who we've been fighting for the last 10 years in Syria under the form of Al-Qaeda or ISIS or whomever, people who had ties to figures that plotted 9/11, to figures that killed military in Iraq and in Afghanistan. These are the people who have now taken over Syria. You think maybe that the government doesn't want the American public to know that? And I could just see now, because so many people try to deny these sorts of things. If you guys don't believe me about this guy, watch a clip about his group from about 10 years ago.
The Front of Defense for the People of Greater Syria, or Jabhat al-Nusra, made their first public statement in January last year.
And look at that
They
flag
claimed they
in the
were
corner.
Syrian mujahideen from various jihadi fronts returned to avenge the deaths of Syrians. They also claimed responsibility for a spate of suicide bombs and car bomb attacks. It was in May 2012, though, that they really came into mainstream coverage after a double bombing in Damascus that killed 55 people. But their history goes way back beyond that to the early 2000s. A large number of the fighters had come through the training camps of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. He was a Jordanian militant in Afghanistan and then Iraq. Zarqawi sent his followers out around the Middle East to recruit for the fight in Iraq. It's alleged that a lot of the funding for it came from sympathizers in Saudi Arabia and Syria itself. It was a structure that flourished in Syria until the regime really cracked down on it.
So you guys get the idea, but let me ask you that. Do you think that America wants people to know that literally a guy who has connections to ISIS, who was in Camp Bucca with the leader, the longtime and now deceased leader of ISIS, who has a group that split off from ISIS in 2014, had ties to Al-Qaeda until 2016, and now has control of Syria? Is that something we want the American public knowing? Or is it much easier just to say, oh God, look at all the UFOs flying around. What the hell is going on with that? Guys, it's a smokescreen. That's my theory. Every time you see all this news about aliens, about UFOs, it's a smokescreen. Politicians and the people in power do not want you to know or pay attention to what's going on in the world. And so the more they push that, the more you should look in the opposite direction, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of that conspiracy. As always, please subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I will strive to bring it to you weekly. Thanks, and until next time.